Welcome to WYSIWYG Studios. Today I want to take a look at the Thunderbolt Fighter for the Imperial Navy for Aeronautica Imperialis. Specifically, this model has two variants that come in the same box. You have your regular Thunderbolt Fighter and your Thunderbolt Fury. Now, taking a closer look, we can see that this here is the Thunderbolt Fury. The only thing that changes is the nose cone. We take a peek at the other piece. This is the standard loadout for the Thunderbolt. Now, in today's video, I'm going to share with you how I went about making it so that you can have both options out of one box using the power of magnets. Let's get started. For this tutorial, we will be using a large pin vise with a 1/4 inch drill bit, a small pin vise with a 1/16 drill bit, super glue, and 6mm by 2mm magnets. This is the magnets that I had on hand. We will be using 3 to 4 of them depending on how you start. And then if you wanted to, of course, you could substitute these for 6 by 4mm and it would still come out the same. When you look at the Thunderbolt Fighter itself, you need to have step 2 done for the fuselage and cockpit area. And then you need your wing section. And you can either have it prepped for the magnetic ball and socket joint. If you haven't seen that tutorial yet, I will put a card up in the corner. Or you can start fresh and this will still work just fine. So let's go ahead and get on to the first step. This is a very simple process, so it should not take us very long at all. Starting with the wing of the Thunderbolt, we are going to be taking our 1/16 drill bit and the small pin vise, and we are going to be drilling a hole into the plastic socket. And the reason we do this is when we put it together and get it all aligned, we'll be able to use that hole as a guide of where to put the other magnets in the cockpit section of the airplane. So we'll take our pin vise again, stick it through the hole, and just give it a little bit of a twist back and forth to get a nice pilot hole going. And then we will take it all apart. With this pilot hole in place, we will grab our big pin vise with the 1/4 inch drill bit, and very carefully, we are just looking at making a small indentation, clearing out some of the material so that the magnets in the cockpit area will sit flush. We do not want to go too deep with this, otherwise you will tear through the cockpit. Next, we will grab our magnets. If you have followed my tutorial on replacing the ball and socket joint with a magnet, make sure that your polarities match up at this point. The magnets that I used, the countersunk was north facing, so I had to make sure that my magnets faced that direction so that way they weren't opposing forces. Once you have figured out your polarities, you go ahead and just glue your magnets to each side of the aircraft. I used one on this side because I already had this magnet attached. If you didn't use my tutorial to change out to a magnetic ball and socket joint here, all you're going to do is flatten out the wing side as well with the same technique that you did for the cockpit. Try not to go all the way through unless you really want to. This will give you a spot to glue your magnets to. And then basically from here, you are just waiting for the glue to dry on both sides. Once you have the magnets set in place and glued, it's just a matter of time. You just gotta wait for that glue to dry. And that all comes down to how much glue you used. I would recommend letting them dry separately so the glue doesn't accidentally drip. And then now you've got them stuck together with magnets inside, because that's just a waste of magnets. But there you go. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you liked what you saw, consider subscribing. But that will do it for us today. So thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe and have fun.